First Contact and the Cosmic Challenge. The starship Audacity hung in the inky void of space, its sleek hull reflecting the dim light of a distant star. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the massive structure looming before them. It was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. A colossal space station that seemed to defy the laws of physics, its twisting corridors and gleaming surfaces hinting at technology far beyond Earth's understanding. Status report, Elena barked, her voice steady despite the tension that gripped the bridge. Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen, the ship's science officer, responded without taking his eyes off his console. The structure's energy readings are off the charts, Captain. It's putting out more power than a small star, but I can't detect any obvious source. Elena nodded, processing the information. Any sign of life? Before Aiden could answer, a brilliant flash of light filled the bridge. When it faded, a tall, ethereal being stood before them. Its body seemed to be composed of swirling mist and starlight, with multiple appendages that moved with liquid grace. Greetings, humans of Earth. The being's voice resonated in their minds, a symphony of harmonics that left them feeling both awed and slightly uncomfortable. I am Zixnath, custodian of the Cosmic Crucible. We have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Elena stepped forward, her hand instinctively moving to the phaser at her hip. I am Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Audacity. What do you mean you've been waiting for us? Zixnath's form shimmered, and what might have been amusement colored its mental voice. Your species has finally achieved the level of technological advancement necessary to be invited to participate in the greatest challenge in the galaxy. The bridge crew exchanged glances, a mix of curiosity and apprehension on their faces. Elena raised an eyebrow. And what exactly is this challenge? The Cosmic Crucible, Zixnath announced with a flourish of its misty appendages, is a test of intellect, creativity, and adaptability. It is an escape room of galactic proportions, designed to push the boundaries of problem-solving and innovation. A snort of laughter came from the helm. Elena turned to see Lieutenant Zara Okoro, the ship's pilot, covering her mouth in embarrassment. Sorry, Captain, Zara said, her Nigerian accent thick with suppressed mirth. It's just an alien escape room. Seriously. Zixnath's form pulsed with what could have been indignation. This is no mere game, human. The Cosmic Crucible has stumped the greatest minds of 1,000 civilizations for over 10 million of your Earth years. Those who solve it earn their species a place among the most elite societies in the universe. Elena's mind raced with the implications, and if we choose not to participate? You misunderstand, Captain Rodriguez. Zixnath's mental voice took on a grave tone. Your ship's presence here has already triggered your entry. You have 24 of your Earth hours to complete the challenge, or you will join the countless others trapped within the Crucible for eternity. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Elena felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She turned to her crew, seeing a mix of fear, determination, and excitement on their faces. Well, team, she said with a wry smile, it looks like we don't have much choice. Who's up for saving humanity and solving an impossible alien puzzle? To her surprise, it was Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's usually reserved medical officer, who spoke up first. Count me in, Captain. I didn't join Starfleet to play it safe. One by one, the rest of the crew voiced their agreement. Elena felt a surge of pride in her team's courage. All right, Zixnath, Elena said, turning back to the alien being. We accept your challenge. What's our first step? The alien's form expanded, filling the bridge with a soft, otherworldly glow. Prepare yourselves, humans. You will be transported to the entry chamber of the Cosmic Crucible. Remember, you have but 24 hours to navigate its mysteries. May your species' unique qualities serve you well. As the alien's words faded, Elena felt a tingling sensation spread through her body. She looked down to see her form becoming translucent, the bridge dissolving around her. Good luck, team, she managed to say before the world went white. When Elena's vision cleared, she found herself standing in a vast, circular room. The walls seemed to shift and change, displaying scenes from alien worlds and incomprehensible mathematical equations. Her crew materialized beside her, looking disoriented but determined. A holographic display appeared in the center of the room, counting down from 24:00. Well, Aiden said, his scientific curiosity already piqued by their surroundings. I guess that's our cue to start. Elena nodded, her mind already working on their strategy. All right, people, let's approach this methodically. Aiden, start scanning the room for any anomalies or hidden mechanisms. Zara, your spatial awareness might come in handy. Look for patterns in these shifting walls. Yuki, keep an eye on everyone's vital signs. We don't know what kind of strain this place might put on our bodies. As her crew sprang into action, Elena couldn't help but feel a spark of excitement beneath her professional exterior. This was the kind of challenge she had dreamed of when she joined the space program. A chance to prove humanity's worth on a cosmic scale. Let's show these aliens what humans are made of, she murmured, stepping forward to examine a panel of pulsing lights near what appeared to be a sealed doorway. Little did Elena and her crew know that their unconventional approach to problem-solving was about to turn the galaxy's expectations upside down. As the clock ticked down, the greatest adventure of their lives and the ultimate test of humanity's potential had only just begun. The puzzling labyrinth. As the Earth team delved deeper into the cosmic crucible, the true scale of the challenge began to reveal itself. Each chamber they entered presented a new mind-bending puzzle that seemed to defy the laws of physics and logic as they knew them. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood before a shimmering wall of what appeared to be liquid light, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Any ideas, team?" she asked, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen approached the wall, his handheld scanner whirring. It's not just light, Captain. This wall seems to be composed of pure information, billions of terabytes of data, constantly shifting and rearranging itself, like some kind of alien supercomputer. Lieutenant Zara Okoro suggested, her eyes tracking the mesmerizing patterns. Aiden nodded, his excitement palpable. Exactly. But the question is, what are we supposed to do with it? Dr. Yuki Tanaka, who had been silently observing the wall, suddenly spoke up. It reminds me of protein folding simulations. See how the data clusters and then unfolds. It's almost organic. Lena's eyes lit up. Yuki, you might be onto something. What if this isn't just a wall of data, but a representation of some kind of alien biology? As the team discussed possibilities, none of them noticed the subtle changes occurring in their surroundings. The room seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, responding to their theories and ideas. Suddenly, a section of the wall flickered and a small opening appeared. Elena approached cautiously, peering inside. There's some kind of interface in here. It looks almost like a medical diagnostic tool, but far more advanced. Yuki joined her, examining the strange device. Captain, I think I can work with this. It's similar to our medical tricorders, but it's designed to analyze and manipulate data on a quantum level. Do it. Elena nodded. But be careful. We don't know what kind of safeguards these aliens might have in place. As Yuki began to interact with the alien interface, the rest of the team continued to explore the chamber. Zara discovered a series of intricate holograms floating near the ceiling, each depicting what seemed to be different alien species. Hey, check this out, she called to the others. I think these might be records of previous participants. Look at this one. It has tentacles for days. Aiden joined her, his scientific curiosity piqued. Fascinating. These species are so diverse, yet they all failed to complete the challenge. What does that say about the nature of the test? Elena pondered this as she watched Yuki work. Maybe it's not about raw intelligence or technological advancement. There must be something else, something uniquely human that gives us an edge. Just then, Yuki let out a triumphant shout. I've got it. The interface responded when I applied Earth microbiology principles to the alien data structure. It's unlocking something. The wall of light began to ripple and shift, forming complex three-dimensional shapes that hovered in the air before them. Elena reached out, her hand passing through one of the shapes. As she did, she felt a subtle vibration, almost like static electricity. It's some kind of tactile interface, she realized. Aiden, can you make sense of these shapes? The science officer studied the floating forms intently. They appear to be molecular structures, Captain. But unlike anything I've ever seen, it's as if they're combining elements that shouldn't be able to exist together. Zara, who had been quiet for a moment, suddenly snapped her fingers. Wait a minute. What if we're looking at this all wrong? We're trying to understand it from a scientific perspective, but what if it's more abstract? The team turned to her, intrigued. Zara continued, her voice gaining confidence. In flight school, we had to learn to think in 4 dimensions to plot complex space maneuvers. This reminds me of those exercises, but on a whole other level. Elena nodded encouragingly. Go on, Lieutenant. What are you thinking? Zara stepped forward, her hands moving through the floating shapes. If we treat these structures not as molecules, but as navigational coordinates in a multidimensional space. As she spoke, her fingers danced through the holographic forms, twisting and rearranging them. To the team's amazement, the shapes began to align, forming a complex, interlocking pattern. A low hum filled the chamber, and a new doorway materialized on the far wall. Zara, that was brilliant, Elena exclaimed, clapping the lieutenant on the shoulder. Aiden shook his head in disbelief. Incredible. The aliens designed this puzzle assuming participants would approach it from a purely scientific angle. They never considered someone might see it as a spatial navigation problem. As the team gathered near the newly revealed door, Elena felt a surge of pride. This is why we're going to succeed where others failed. We're not just scientists or soldiers. We're explorers with a unique perspective shaped by our diverse experiences. Dr. Tanaka, who had been examining the alien interface one last time, rejoined the group. Captain, I've detected something interesting. The system seems to be learning from us, adapting to our problem-solving methods. Elena's expression turned serious, which means the challenges are likely to get more difficult as we progress. We'll need to stay on our toes. The team nodded, their faces a mix of determination and excitement. As they stepped through the doorway into the next chamber, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of optimism. They were far from home, facing challenges beyond their wildest imaginations, but they were also discovering strengths they never knew they had. The new chamber that greeted them was vastly different from the last. Gone were the shimmering walls of light and floating holograms. Instead, they found themselves in what appeared to be a lush alien jungle. Bioluminescent plants pulsed with otherworldly colors, and strange creatures skittered in the underbrush. Well, Zara said, a hint of humor in her voice, I guess we're not in Kansas anymore. Elena smiled at the reference. No, we're certainly not. But remember, everything here is part of the test. Stay alert and don't take anything at face value. As if in response to her words, a holographic display materialized before them, showing the countdown timer. They had used nearly 6 hours solving the previous chamber's puzzles. 18 hours left, Aiden noted, his voice tense. We need to pick up the pace. Elena nodded, her mind already working on their next move. Agreed. Let's split up and scout the area. Aiden, analyze the plant life. Yuki, see if you can make sense of these creatures. Zara, you're with me. Let's try to map this place. As the team dispersed into the alien jungle, none of them noticed the subtle shimmer in the air behind them. The watching eyes of their alien observers, growing ever more intrigued by these strange, unpredictable humans. The next phase of their cosmic trial had begun, and with it, humanity's chance to prove its worth among the stars. Little did they know, their unorthodox approaches and uniquely human insights were about to turn the entire concept of the cosmic crucible on its head. Thinking outside the box, The alien jungle pulsed with an eerie bioluminescent glow as Captain Elena Rodriguez and her team navigated through the dense foliage. Strange, accordion-like plants unfurled at their approach, releasing spores that danced in the air like fireflies. Anyone else feeling like we're in a James Cameron movie? Lieutenant Zara Okoro quipped, swatting away a floating spore. Dr. Yuki Tanaka chuckled softly. I was thinking more annihilation. But point taken. Elena held up a hand, signaling for quiet. Focus, team. Remember, everything here is part of the test. We need to figure out what this environment is trying to tell us. Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen approached, his scanner humming softly. Captain, I'm detecting some unusual energy signatures. They seem to be coming from, well, everywhere. Everywhere. Elena frowned. Can you be more specific? Aiden shook his head, frustration evident in his voice. That's just it. The energy is perfectly distributed throughout the entire chamber. It's as if the jungle itself is one massive, living computer. As if in response to his words, the plants around them began to shift and move. Vines twisted into complex patterns, leaves rearranged themselves into what looked like circuit boards, and flowers bloomed in sequences reminiscent of binary code. Holy shit, Zara breathed. It's actually responding to us. Yuki stepped forward, her medical expertise kicking in. It's more than that. Look at how the patterns are changing. It's almost like it's trying to communicate. Elena's mind raced. A living computer trying to interface with us. But how? We don't have the right biological components to connect with it directly. A moment of silence fell over the team as they pondered this new challenge. Then, unexpectedly, Zara started to laugh. What's so funny, Lieutenant? Elena asked, raising an eyebrow. Zara grinned, a mischievous glint in her eye. I just had the most ridiculous idea. You know how people talk to plants to help them grow. What if we tried? I don't know, singing to this jungle. The team stared at her in disbelief. That's... Aiden began, then paused. Actually, that's not as crazy as it sounds. Sound waves could potentially interact with the energy field in ways we haven't considered. Elena nodded slowly. At this point, I'm willing to try anything. But what should we sing? How about Stayin' Alive? Yuki suggested with a smirk. It seems thematically appropriate. And so, in a moment that would have seemed absurd in any other context, the crew of the Audacity began to sing. Their voices, a mix of tones and abilities, filled the alien jungle with the classic Bee Gees hit. At first, nothing seemed to happen. But as they reached the chorus, the jungle around them came alive. Plants swayed in rhythm, spores pulsed with light in time with the beat, and the energy field Aiden had detected began to fluctuate wildly. It's working, Aiden shouted over the music, his eyes wide with excitement. The energy patterns are aligning. I think we're actually communicating with it. Encouraged, the team sang louder, adding dance moves to their performance. As they did, the jungle's response intensified. Vines began to part, revealing a path that hadn't been there before. At the end of this new path, a glowing portal shimmered into existence. As the last notes of the song faded away, Elena stared in amazement at what their impromptu concert had accomplished. I can't believe that actually worked. Zora grinned triumphantly. Never underestimate the power of disco, Captain. The team made their way down the newly revealed path, still buzzing with excitement from their musical breakthrough. As they approached the portal, Yuki noticed something odd. Look at this, she said, pointing to a series of markings on the ground near the portal. These symbols, they look almost like musical notation, but not quite. Aiden scanned the markings, his brow furrowed in concentration. You're right. It's as if the jungle is trying to teach us its own form of music, a universal language of sorts. Elena nodded thoughtfully. Makes sense. Music is often considered a universal constant, transcending cultural and even species boundaries. Maybe that's what this test was about. finding a way to communicate across those boundaries. As they stepped through the portal, they found themselves in a new chamber, vastly different from the lush jungle they had left behind. This room was stark and minimalist, with sleek metallic surfaces and holographic displays floating in midair. A deep, resonant voice filled the chamber. "Congratulations, humans. You have successfully navigated the harmonic jungle, a feat accomplished by only a handful of species in the history of the cosmic crucible." The team exchanged surprised glances. It was the first time they had received direct feedback on their progress. The voice continued, "Your unorthodox approach and willingness to embrace absurdity in the face of complex problems is intriguing. We look forward to seeing how you tackle the challenges that lie ahead." As the voice faded, new holographic displays sprang to life around them, presenting a dizzying array of mathematical equations, physical simulations, and abstract concepts that seemed to defy understanding. Elena took a deep breath, surveying the new challenges before them. "Well, team, it looks like we've made an impression. Let's keep it up. We've got..." She glanced at the ever-present countdown timer. Just over 12 hours left. Time to show these aliens what human creativity is really capable of. Zara cracked her knuckles, a determined grin on her face. I don't suppose they'd appreciate a rendition of "We Will Rock You" for this one. Aiden chuckled, already engrossed in one of the holographic displays. "Maybe save that for the grand final, Zora. For now, let's see if we can decode these equations. There's something odd about them." As the team dove into their new challenges, none of them noticed the subtle shifts in the room around them. The very walls seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, as if the cosmic crucible itself was adapting, evolving in response to these unexpected humans and their unique problem-solving methods. In hidden observation chambers, alien beings of unimaginable intelligence watched with growing fascination. These humans, with their illogical approaches and emotional decision-making, were unlike anything they had encountered before. For the first time in millions of years, the outcome of the cosmic crucible was uncertain. As Captain Elena Rodriguez and her crew tackled each new puzzle with a blend of scientific rigor and wild creativity, they were unknowingly reshaping the very nature of the test itself. The next few hours would determine not just their fate, but potentially the future of human-alien relations in the galaxy. The clock continued its relentless countdown, but the humans of the Audacity were far from finished. Their greatest challenges, and their most astonishing triumphs, still lay ahead. The final countdown. The sleek, metallic chamber hummed with an otherworldly energy as Captain Elena Rodriguez and her team raced against time. Holographic displays flickered and shifted around them, presenting a dizzying array of challenges that seemed to defy the laws of physics and logic. 8 hours left, Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen announced, his voice tense as he glanced at the countdown timer. "And I think we just hit the boss level." Elena nodded grimly, her eyes scanning the room. "All right, team. We've come too far to fail now. What are we looking at?" Dr. Yuki Tanaka frowned as she studied a particularly complex hologram. "It appears to be some kind of multidimensional puzzle. Look at how the pieces intersect. They're occupying the same space simultaneously." "Schrödinger's jigsaw puzzle," Lieutenant Zara Okoro quipped, though her usual humor was tempered by the gravity of their situation. "How are we supposed to solve something we can't even fully perceive?" Elena's mind raced, piecing together everything they'd learned so far. "We need to approach this from multiple angles. Aiden, what can your scans tell us about the energy patterns in this room?" Aiden consulted his device, his brow furrowed in concentration. "It's strange, Captain. The energy seems to be fluctuating in response to our thoughts and actions. It's almost as if the room itself is alive, adapting to our problem-solving methods." A spark of inspiration hit Elena. "That's it. This isn't just a test of our abilities. It's learning from us, evolving as we progress. We need to use that to our advantage." She turned to her team, a plan forming in her mind. "Zara, Remember how you approached the navigational puzzle earlier? I need you to apply that same four-dimensional thinking here. Visualize these pieces not as static objects, but as points in space-time. Zara nodded, her eyes narrowing in concentration as she began to manipulate the holographic pieces. Yuki, Elena continued, use your medical knowledge. Think of this puzzle as a living organism. How would these pieces fit together if they were part of a complex biological system? The doctor nodded, her hands moving to interact with a different section of the hologram. Aiden, focus on the energy patterns. See if you can find a way to influence them, to guide the puzzle into a more solvable state. As her team worked, each applying their unique skills and perspectives, Elena stepped back, her mind racing. There was something they were missing, some key insight that would tie it all together. Suddenly, a memory flashed through her mind. A lecture from her academy days about the nature of the universe. Guys, she said, her voice filled with excitement. What if we're thinking too small? This isn't just about solving a puzzle. It's about understanding the fundamental nature of reality itself. Her team looked at her, puzzled but intrigued. Think about it, Elena continued, her words tumbling out in a rush. Every challenge we've faced has pushed us to see beyond our normal perceptions. The living jumble that responded to music, the multidimensional navigation, they're all pieces of a larger picture. Understanding dawned on Aiden's face. You're right, Captain. It's not about solving each puzzle individually. It's about seeing how they all connect. With renewed energy, the team dove back into the challenge. Zara's spatial manipulations began to sync with Yuki's biological approach, creating patterns that pulsed with life. Aiden's energy manipulations caused the hologram to shift and warp, revealing new dimensions of complexity. As they worked, the room around them began to change. The metallic walls seemed to melt away, replaced by swirling cosmic vistas. Stars and galaxies spun around them. And for a moment, it felt as if they were at the very center of the universe. It's beautiful, Yuki breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. Zara grinned, her hands still moving through the hologram. And to think, all it took was a little human ingenuity and a whole lot of crazy. As the final pieces fell into place, a blinding light filled the chamber. When it faded, they found themselves back in the stark metallic room, but with one crucial difference. A new door had appeared, pulsing with an inviting glow. The same resonant voice they had heard earlier filled the chamber. Remarkable. Truly remarkable. In all our eons of administering the cosmic crucible, we have never witnessed a species approach the challenges quite like this. Elena stepped forward, her chin held high. We're full of surprises. It's kind of our thing. The voice seemed to carry a note of amusement. So we have observed. You have successfully navigated the most difficult sections of the crucible, demonstrating not just intelligence, but creativity, adaptability, and a unique perspective on the nature of reality itself. Aiden checked his scanner, his eyes widening in surprise. Captain, you're not going to believe this. We've only used up 11 hours. We're 3 hours ahead of any previous attempt. A ripple of excitement passed through the team. They were close. So close to achieving what countless alien civilizations had failed to do for millions of years. The voice spoke again, this time with a hint of challenge. But your trial is not yet complete. Beyond this final door lies the ultimate test, one that will determine not just your fate, but potentially the future of your entire species in the galactic community. Elena looked at her team, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt. Well, she said with a smile, I guess it's time for the grand final. Zara, got any good songs for the occasion? Zara grinned, already humming the opening notes of We Are the Champions. As they stepped towards the glowing door, Elena felt a mix of anticipation and pride. Whatever lay beyond, she knew her team, her family, would face it together. And in doing so, they would show the galaxy exactly what humanity was capable of. The final test awaited, and with it, the chance to rewrite the cosmic order. As the door slid open, bathing them in brilliant light. Captain Elena Rodriguez and her crew stepped forward, ready to make history. Little did they know, their performance in the cosmic crucible had already sent shockwaves through the galactic community. In hidden chambers and distant worlds, ancient alien civilizations watched with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The age-old question that had puzzled them for eons, "Are we alone in the universe?" had been answered in the most unexpected way. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. Humanity's triumph and galactic implications. The final chamber of the cosmic crucible was unlike anything Captain Elena Rodriguez and her crew had encountered before. As they stepped through the glowing doorway, they found themselves in what appeared to be an infinite void, surrounded by swirling galaxies and nebulae. "Okay, I'll bite," Lieutenant Zara Okoro said, her voice filled with awe. "Are we actually in space, or is this some kind of ultra-advanced holodeck?" Lieutenant Commander Aiden Chen consulted his scanner, shaking his head in disbelief. I'm not sure. The readings are off the charts. It's as if we're everywhere and nowhere at once." Dr. Yuki Tanaka's eyes widened as she looked around. It's the ultimate representation of the universe itself. Every star, every planet, every form of life. It's all here. As they marveled at their surroundings, a familiar resonant voice filled the void. "Welcome, humans, to the heart of the crucible. You stand at a precipice that few species have ever reached. Your final test awaits." Before them, a shimmering portal materialized, its surface rippling like water. Within its depths, they could see glimpses of Earth, its blue oceans, green continents, and swirling white clouds. "Your species stands on the brink of a new era," the voice continued. "The knowledge and technology you have encountered in the cosmic crucible could revolutionize your civilization, advancing it by millennia in the span of a moment. But with great power comes great responsibility." Elena stepped forward, her face set with determination. "What exactly are you asking of us?" The voice seemed to resonate from every corner of the cosmos. "Your final test is one of choice. You may step through this portal, returning to Earth with all the knowledge and advancements you have gained. Your species will leap forward, becoming a dominant force in the galaxy almost overnight." A pause filled the void, heavy with implications. "Or," the voice continued, "you may choose to return as you came, allowing your species to progress naturally, finding its own path among the stars. The choice is yours, but know that it will shape the destiny of not just humanity, but the entire galactic community." The crew exchanged glances, the weight of the decision palpable between them. Zara was the first to speak. "I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Think of all the good we could do with that knowledge. We could solve world hunger, cure diseases, end wars." Aiden nodded slowly. "The scientific advancements alone would be staggering. We could unlock the secrets of the universe, explore distant galaxies." But Yuki's face was troubled. "But at what cost? Our history is filled with examples of rapid technological advancement leading to catastrophe. Are we really ready for that kind of power?" Elena listened to her crew, her mind racing. She thought of all they had experienced, the challenges they had overcome. Each test had pushed them not just to think outside the box, but to reimagine the very nature of the box itself. And then it hit her. "We decline," Elena said, her voice firm and clear. Her crew looked at her in shock. "Captain?" Aiden asked, confusion evident in his voice. Elena smiled, a glint of understanding in her eyes. "Don't you see? This isn't just a test of our abilities or our ethics. It's a test of our understanding. Throughout this entire journey, we've been pushed to see beyond the obvious, to find solutions in unexpected places." She gestured to the vast cosmic expanse around them. "The universe doesn't hand out easy answers. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. The challenges we faced, the obstacles we've overcome, that's what makes us who we are. It's what makes us human." Understanding dawned on her crew's faces as Elena continued. If we take this shortcut, we'd be robbing ourselves of the very experiences that have brought us this far. Our strength lies not in some alien technology, but in our creativity, our adaptability, our sheer human stubbornness in the face of impossible odds. Zora grinned, nodding enthusiastically. Heck yeah. We didn't come this far just to take the easy way out. Yuki smiled, relief evident on her face. I couldn't agree more, Captain. Our journey is far from over. Aiden chuckled, shaking his head in admiration. Once again, you've seen what the rest of us missed. It's been an honor serving with you, Captain. As the crew voiced their agreement, the cosmic void around them began to shift and change. The swirling galaxies coalesced into a brilliant point of light, and from it emerged a being of pure energy. Congratulations, humans, the being said, its voice filled with warmth and what might have been pride. In all our eons of administering the cosmic crucible, no species has ever made the choice you have. You have demonstrated not just intelligence and creativity, but wisdom beyond your years. The being expanded, enveloping the team in a soft, comforting glow. You have proven yourselves worthy not just of joining the galactic community, but of leading it into a new era of understanding and cooperation. Alina's eyes widened. Leading? But we're just beginning our journey into space. Surely there are far more advanced civilizations out there. The being's light pulsed with what might have been laughter. Advanced technology does not equate to advanced thinking. Captain Rodriguez, your species' unique blend of creativity, adaptability, and ethical consideration is rare and precious in this universe. You have much to teach us all. As the being spoke, the void around them transformed once more. They found themselves back on the bridge of the Audacity, everything exactly as they had left it. But there was one crucial difference. A small crystalline device now sat on the captain's chair. This is a key to the stars, the being explained. It will allow you to communicate with the galactic community when you are ready. Use it wisely, and know that you have friends among the cosmos. As the being's presence faded, Alina turned to her crew, her heart swelling with pride and excitement. Well, team, it looks like our mission just got a whole lot bigger. Who's ready to show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of? The enthusiastic cheers of her crew were answer enough. As the Audacity set course for Earth, Captain Alina Rodriguez couldn't help but smile. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The future was uncertain, filled with challenges and wonders beyond imagination. But one thing was clear: humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, not as conquerors or subservient newcomers, but as equals, bringing their unique perspective to the cosmic conversation. As Earth came into view, a brilliant blue jewel against the backdrop of space, Alina thought of all the people back home, going about their lives, unaware of the incredible journey that had just unfolded. Soon, they would learn of humanity's triumph in the cosmic crucible, of the friends they had made among the stars. It was the dawn of a new era, and humanity, with all its flaws and all its potential, was ready to face whatever the universe had in store. The adventure, it seemed, was just beginning.